Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If y'all like this video, please always like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for finding my channel. Bye y'all. In the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho college students were stabbed to death in a shared rental home close to campus, in which 3 of them resided. The 3 female victims, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Xana Coronado, lived at the house, while the 4th victim, Ethan Chapin, was Coronato's boyfriend, who was sleeping over on the night of the attacks. 2 other female roommates also lived in the house, but they were not attacked. Earlier on the evening of November the 12th, 2 of the 4 victims, Chapin and Coronado, were at an on-campus party at a nearby Sigma Chi fraternity from 8 to 9. They returned home at 1:45 a.m. That evening, the other 2 victims, best friends Mogan and Gonzalez, had gone to the corner club and downtown sports bar at 10 p.m., from which they departed at 1:30 a.m. A live stream video on Twitch by the Grub Truck, a food truck, 4 blocks south at Friendship Square, main and 4th Streets, showed Mogan and Gonzalez at 1:41 a.m. chatting, smiling, getting their food 10 minutes later, and leaving to take what the police initially said was an Uber ride home. A trip about 1 mile. Police later rephrased their statement to say the ride was provided by a private party, arriving home at 1:56 a.m. All 4 students were home by 1:56 a.m. 7 uncompleted phone calls were made from the phone of Gonzalez to her former longtime boyfriend, a fellow student, from 2:26 a.m. to 2:52 a.m. Mogan also called the boyfriend 3 times with similar results, from 2:44 to 2:52 a.m. These calls were investigated, which the police conducted. They did not believe he was involved in the crime. Coronado received the DoorDash order around 4 a.m. The 2 surviving roommates had returned home by 1 a.m. An original report said that they were in their beds on the ground floor of the home at the time of the killings. They were not attacked or held hostage, and original reports stated that both surviving roommates did not awaken during the killings. However, the affidavit for the case said that the one surviving roommate was sleeping on the 2nd floor, the same floor as Coronado and Chapin's, before she was awakened by what sounded like Gonzalez and her dog. She later heard her roommate saying something to the effect of "someone's here." The roommate believed this was said by Gonzalez, although investigators also believe this might have been Coronado speaking, as a forensic download on her phone showed that she was on the app TikTok at 4:12 a.m. The surviving roommate opened her door twice within a short span of time, and the second time heard what sounded like crying coming from Colonel's room. A male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Security cameras near the home picked up a sound of whimpering, a loud thud, and a dog barking numerous times, starting around 4:17 a.m. The surviving roommate opened her door a third time and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. The man, whom the roommate did not recognize, walked past her and used the sliding glass door to exit. It is unknown if the man saw her. The roommate stood in a frozen, shocked face and then locked herself in her room. The 4 victims were stabbed to death on the second and third floors of the home, where they were in bed. The victims were not gagged or restrained, and the walls at the scene were splattered with blood. Mogan and Gonzalez were found in Mogan's bedroom, and Coronado and Chapin were in Coronado's room. No calls to 911 were made until 11:58 a.m., many hours after the early morning killings. At the time of the call, a call was made from inside the residence from the cell phone of one of the surviving students who lived at the residence, asking for aid for an unconscious person. When police arrived, the door to the home was open and there was no sign of forced entry or damage inside the home, and nothing appeared to be missing. The 2 surviving roommates were in the residence when the police arrived, as were other friends of the victims. The surviving roommates had called friends over to the home because they believed one of the second floor victims was unconscious and was not waking up. The identity of the 911 caller was not released, and the person was not considered a suspect. All 4 victims were pronounced deceased at 12 noon. Detectives believe the killings occurred sometime between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. The night officers came upon Gonzalez's dog, which she shared with her ex-boyfriend, alive, unharmed, at the house. 4 University of College students were killed. Ethan Chapin, 20, of Conway, Washington. Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, of Ruston, Idaho. Xana Coronado, 20, of Avondale, Arizona. She later lived in Post Falls, Idaho. And Madison Mogan, 21, of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Chapin was a freshman, Coronado was a junior, and Gonzalez and Mogan were both seniors. On the evening of a candlelight vigil was held on the evening of November 30th. The investigation of the stabbings is being conducted by the Moscow Police Department, supported by the Idaho State Police and the Leetah County Sheriff's Office. In all, almost 130 members of law enforcement from 3 agencies began working on the case. The Lee County coroner conducted autopsies on the 4 victims on November 17th, and she said they appeared to have been stabbed multiple times with fatal wounds in the chest and upper body, with a large knife, if not the same knife, very similar ones. At least one victim with what she apparently saw defensive stab wounds on her hands, and possibly more appear to have tried to fend off their attacker. And the victims may have been attacked while sleeping in their beds. None showed signs of sexual assault. All 4 deaths were deemed homicide by stabbing. The victims were not tied and gagged. No weapon has been recovered, although police believe the killer or killers used a fixed blade knife. On November 19th, police requested the public provide any video of the house that had been recorded the night of the killings. A phone tip line and email was created for the students and others to submit potential evidence to officials. As of December 5th, 2022, it was reported that they had received more than 2,600 email tips, 2,700 phone calls, and 1,000 digital media submissions from the public to these tip lines. On December 24th, 2022, the investigative team reported having received at least 15,000 tips regarding the case. The police initially left open the possibility that this could be more than one perpetrator. Police stated that they believe it was a targeted attack, but not concluded that a target was the residence or its occupants. In a November 23rd press conference, the Moscow police chief said that authorities had received a number of tips, including that Gonzalez allegedly had a stalker, but weren't unable to verify the claim or identify any such individual at the time. After receiving hundreds of tips from the public, on December 15th, police announced they were searching records for approximately 22,000 fifth-generation Hyundai Elantras that were made between 2010 and 2015. A camera in the area of the killings had captured an image of an Elantra around the time of the killings, that the white Hyundai Elantra that was captured by camera during the time of the killings appeared to travel in the direction of Pullman, Washington, and twice to the apartment of the victims. Surveillance video also showed an Elantra passing by the victim's house 3 times, beginning around 3:29 a.m. At 4:04 a.m., the Elantra returned to the home for the 4th time. At 4:20 a.m., the vehicle was seen leaving the victim's neighborhood at a high rate of speed. Investigators traced the ownership of this vehicle to a local individual, Brian Colbert, who drove the car with his father to the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania for the holidays. He was pulled over twice within a nearly 5-mile radius by Indiana State Police on Interstate 70 outside Greenfield, Indiana, for speeding and tailgating. The FBI denied allegations that they had directed the Indiana State Police to make the stops investigators obtained cell phone data that showed that Kohlberger's phone stopped connecting to the network around 2:47 a.m. in Pullman on November 13th before reconnecting around 4:48 a.m. near Blaine, Idaho, which is near the U.S. Highway 95 south of Moscow. Cell phone data also shows that he was near the victim's residence around 9 a.m. on November 13th, approximately 5 hours after the killings. Police also obtained data that indicated that he was near the residence at least 12 times between June 2022 and November 13th. Investigators had additionally obtained a sample of DNA from the crime scene that did not belong to any of the victims. The DNA was found on a tan leather knife sheath on Megan's bed. Using a familial connection to Kohlberger, investigators then traced the DNA to Kohlberger by matching his DNA found on the trash that was recovered from his family's home in Pennsylvania. Prior to the arrest, investigators monitored Kohlberger outside of his parents' Pennsylvania home. He was seen multiple times wearing surgical gloves and observed putting trash bags inside of the garbage can of a neighbor. The items were sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. Authorities also said Kohlberger had cleaned his car inside and out, not missing a square inch. A surviving roommate who saw the suspect described him as a male stranger that was around 5 foot 10 inches, not very muscular, but athletically built, with bushy eyebrows. The accused, 28-year-old man, Brian Christopher Kohlberger, was taken into custody by an FBI SWAT team and Pennsylvania State Police on December 30th at the home of his parents in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Kohlberger was born on November 21st, 1994. In Albrightsville, he grew up and lived in Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area of Pennsylvania for most of his life. Kohlberger's parents were originally natives of Brooklyn, New York. Shortly after finishing Pleasant Valley High School in 2013, he attended Monroe Career and Technical Institute in Bartonsville, but he dropped out a year later. Kohlberger later attended Northampton Community College in Bethlehem, where he earned an associate degree in psychology in 2018. After graduating from Northampton, he worked as a security guard for Pleasant Valley School District, the same school district where his father previously had worked as a maintenance worker for many years, and his mother for a time as a substitute teacher. He received a BA in 2020 and an MA in 2022 in criminal justice from DeSales University in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Then he moved to Washington State to pursue a PhD in the same field at Washington State University in Pullman, and had completed his first semester there 9 days before his arrest. The Pullman campus is about 10 miles away from Moscow. Kohberger was terminated as a teaching assistant by Washington State University because he was rude to women and graded them differently than men. On October 3rd, Kohberger met with a professor to discuss his behavior. On October 21st, the professor emailed Kohberger telling him that he failed to meet expectations, and on November 12th, they met again to discuss an improvement plan. Kohberger was arrested on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 felony count of burglary, was appointed a public defender and detained without bond at the Monroe County Correctional Facility in Stansburg, Washington, Pennsylvania. On his return to the Monroe County Courthouse on January 3rd, 2023, he agreed to extradition, and on January 4th, he was flown to Idaho and taken to Idaho County Jail in Idaho, where he was held without bail. Kohberger made his first appearance in the Idaho County Courthouse on January 5th, 2023, and was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary for breaking into a home with the intent to commit a felony. 1 week later, on January 12th, 2023, Kohberger made his second appearance for a status conference in the same room at the Idaho County Courthouse. A preliminary probable cause hearing was scheduled for June 26, 2023 at the Idaho County Courthouse. And when they do that, I will let y'all know the details, because I'm waiting for that one. The fathers of Gonzalez and Chapin criticized the limited flow of information from the police and the university to the families of the victims. TikTokers, self-proclaimed psychics, and social media users began to speculate and spread rumors and misinformation about the case on social media. In response, the Moscow Police Department criticized internet sleuths for creating rampant online rumors and disrupting investigations, and in a December 2nd news release said there is speculation without factual backing, stoking community fears, and spreading false facts. Moscow Police Chief Roger Landner said tracking down rumors and quelling rumors about specific information and specific events that may not have happened is a huge distraction. We are not releasing specific details as we do not want to compromise the investigation. They also warned that people harassing or threatening those potentially involved with the case will face criminal charges. Yeah, we have a little bit of update on the Brian Kohberger situation. It says that the police in Pennsylvania seized a knife, phone, and mask seized, and they did a raid on his parents' house in Pennsylvania. They searched his home, his car, and the garage, and a shed on the property. The new warrants revealed that police took a door panel from his car, seat cushions, headrest, seatbelt, visor, brake and gas pedals, and a Band-Aid, maps and other documents and other items. From his house, the police seized several weapons, including a knife and a Glock handgun and 3 magazines. They took a cell phone, a laptop, and 3 face masks, black face masks, as well as a black hat. The list also included a prescription, a green leafy substance in a container, vehicle paperwork, and other documents, including a phone bill and a handwritten password on a book with underlining on page 118. Additional. So far, that's what they got out of the house. This was seized 4 days ago when they did a raid on his parents' house. Y'all enjoy the video, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one. Bye.